Greetings one and all, this is Lloyd Brown and welcome social media family to my vlog, Being Lloyd Brown, raw, undiluted, straight no chaser, insight as to who I am, who I've been, who I was. Episode 6. Not gonna sugarcoat it by giving a cryptic title. The title is called Jailhouse Rock. And I want to preface by just giving you a little story of something that happened in 1977. Was it 1977? Yeah, I'm sure it was 1977. There was a program. Well, there was many programs at that time on TV. And remember, it wasn't like the plethora of channels that we have now. We only had 3 channels, I think it was at that point. BBC One, BBC Two, ITV. That was it. And if there were black people on TV, that was an event. And more time when black people was on TV, we was not shown in our best light, let's say. Black and white minstrel show, Love Thy Neighbor, Mind Your Language. Is there anything else? I think the only program that kind of showed us in our best light was The Fosters. I don't know if you remember The Fosters. It was a sitcom that starred Lenny Henry. And also there was another program called Empire Road, which starred Norman Beaton. Those 2 programs were basically the exception to the rule. But all the rest didn't show us in our best light because there was a name to call us. And I'm going to say the names as much as people don't want to hear it, but we had to hear it. Coon, Nignog, Gollywog, Nigger, Black Bastards. On a daily, we'd get that. We'd get that in school. We get that on the street. We get that in Black Mariahs. We get that in police cells. 1977. There was a program called Roots that came out. And I know some people might be aware, and some of the younger people watching might be aware of the remake that was recently televised. And I made a video about that as well. But I'm talking about the original that starred LeVar Burton, the guy that was in Star Trek, and Lorne Greene, the guy who was in Bonanza. Now I'm really showing my age. It was the first time that I, as a black man, or a kid, because I was 13, it was the first time as a black kid seeing my history painted out in such a disturbing context that it worried me. It worried me as to how it would be embraced by white people. But then again, there was no surprise because there was a new name to call us. Because we would be called Kunta Kinte, or we would be called Toby and all them fuckery. So we had all of that to deal with. And I remember after the show, after the series had ran, I remembered one day waiting for a bus. It was a 279 bus I was waiting for on Seven Sisters Road. Them times my eyesight was like 20/20. I could basically see a number of a bus from like 500, 600 yards. And I don't know if anybody else used to do it, but if I stand at a bus stop and I look at a bus and I see the number of the bus and it's not the bus I want to catch, I just stand still. But if it's the bus I want to catch, I'll naturally step forward. Not pushing in front of anybody, but I'd step forward. And I remember doing that with the 279 bus. And as I moved forward, I felt a tap on my shoulder and somebody pulling me round and saying to me, "Oi, nigger, do you mind getting to the back of the queue?" After which, I blacked out. Literally, I blacked out. I did not know, I didn't see anything. By the time I came to, the brother was bent up and twist up in a shop window. I had a friend called Wendy Paisley, whose mother was a bus conductress on the 279 route, and who just happened to be on that bus when that incident occurred. Wendy Paisley's mum. And she said, "Oh my gosh, Lloyd, what have you done to the man? What have you done?" And when I looked round and saw the man bend up and twist up, it was an optician shop window right at the corner, right at the junction of Seven Sisters Road and the High Road. I literally flung the brother in at the shop window, and I don't know how I done it. And to cut a long story short, I ran away, went down the tube station to evade the police, went down the Seven Sisters end, ran through to the High Road end, got up through the High Road end, thought I got rid of them, just felt another shoulder, "You're nicked." So I got arrested and I went to court, and the brother who I had injured wasn't there, and I was found guilty and I was sent to detention center for 3 months. And yeah, I was sentenced for 3 months. That was my first taste of prison-esque life, but it wasn't my last. With all the disappointment that I felt with my career at this point, and getting a glimmer of hope with the prospect of recording a project with Musclehead for Saxon Records, and working with musicians that I had the utmost respect for, like, you know, Fish Brown and Bubblers Ogilvie and Lorna Asher, and working with, what's the group called? Akabu, Sister, Peter Spence, you know, just working with a group of people that I wanted to collaborate with. And my first homegrown project, my first co-production project, that trying to counterbalance my life and my relationship at that point, it wasn't working. It wasn't working. And it culminated to me nearly killing a man. It culminated into me nearly killing a man. And it was on Boxing Day 1996. I was arrested for attempted murder. But the charge was brought down to grievous bodily harm with intent. I was in remand and went to court. And everybody gave their evidence as to what happened. It was advised to me by the barrister that I shouldn't say anything, and I didn't listen to him. I wanted to give my side of the story. So when it was my time to testify, I went up on the stand and testified. And I had said, Your Honor, I will admit to you and to the people in the court that I was reckless in my actions. However, and I didn't even get to finish the sentence, the judge immediately ordered the jury out. And they left. And the judge says, based upon Mr. Brown's admission of recklessness, we have to find him guilty. Which was a weird one because I'd pled not guilty. So by him saying he's going to find me guilty, or I have to find him guilty, I'm looking at 8 years. I'm looking at 8 years in prison. And at that point, I have to say, I didn't give a shit about my life at that point, because I had lost everything. You know, at that point, I'd lost my mind. I had lost my mind. I had lost the trust in thinking that whatever I turned to, whatever I put my faith in, it wasn't going to manifest well. And it was just a balancing act. And it just didn't transpire well. Because I remembered after I stabbed the guy, I had no emotion whatsoever. And I remember going into police custody, and all of a sudden the flu just enveloped my whole body. I remember that. But anyway, I'm digressing. But yeah, I was found guilty. I thought I was going to be doing at least 8 years. But I got 3 years. I served all my time in Pentonville prison. Which was strange because Pentonville was a holding prison. You only get held in prison on remand, and then when you are doing your sentence, you get moved to a different category prison. But I done my whole sentence there. And it was strange because a lot of the people who I hadn't seen on road, and I was wondering, where the hell are they? They were in prison. And when I saw them, they looked on me like, Brownie, what are you doing here? We're just listening to your... That's the Jailhouse rock that I was dancing to at that point in time. Princess Diana died in that time that I served my sentence. And I had no conception as to the grief that people were feeling outside. Because outside was a different world, different planet to me. And at that point, I thought my life was over. Even with the short 3-year sentence that I got, I thought my life was over. Another trauma that's going to close off this video. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for stopping by. And as always, you don't know the coup. Whatever you do in life, people, please abstain from foolishness, whether it's your own or anyone else's. But if it's your own, confront it, deal with it, move it on, live up. So until we link on the next video, people, please stay blessed. Magan.